Welcome to another episode of Parashah Points, short thoughts from the weekly Torah portion. This week's Parashah Point comes from Vayigash, which is Hebrew for He drew near, and it goes from Genesis 44:18 to Genesis 47:27. This Parashah tells the story of Judah pleading on behalf of his brother Benjamin, whom Joseph took captive. Joseph then reveals his true identity to his brothers. Jacob then brings his whole family down to Egypt and reunites with his son Joseph. The Parashah concludes with telling of Joseph's administration in Egypt during the famine and Israel settling in the land of Goshen. There's a lot we can talk about in this Torah portion. Today, we're going to present a thought on God's sovereignty. Genesis 45. So Joseph said to his brothers, "Come near to me, please." And they came near, and he said, "I am your brother, Joseph, whom you sold into Egypt. And do not be distressed or angry with yourselves because you sold me here, for God sent me before you to preserve life. For the famine has been in the land these 2 years, and there are yet 5 years in which there will be neither plowing nor harvest. And God sent me before you to preserve for you a remnant on earth, and to keep alive for you many survivors. So it was not you who sent me here, but God. He has made me a father to Pharaoh, and lord of all his house, and ruler over all the land of Egypt." Do you ever struggle with the fact that God's timing and methods for accomplishing His purposes don't always work out when and how we would like or expect? Joseph could relate to those struggles. As we near the conclusion of Joseph's story, we learn that God used Joseph in amazing ways, not only with regard to saving his family, but the entire region from a great famine. That was God's plan for Joseph all along. And yet, it took many years, and a lot of crazy and difficult things had to happen for God's purposes through Joseph to be accomplished. At the beginning of Joseph's story, we see that God gave Joseph all of these amazing dreams. One day, he was going to become a powerful ruler. Pretty cool dreams, right? However, Joseph likely didn't expect that those dreams coming to fruition would take him being betrayed by his own family, thrown into a pit, sold into slavery, and then later thrown into prison falsely accused. As he sat in prison for years, Joseph likely didn't think that it would actually bring him any closer to fulfilling God's plan for his life. But here we are. Joseph's story teaches us that God is in control. His blessings and wisdom can be found in what appear to be even the most terrible circumstances. No matter what you or someone else does, God is still on His throne. He is still sovereign. His plans will succeed in His time, and we can take comfort in that. And perhaps this understanding can also give us the strength to forgive. God certainly doesn't approve of any evil or sin that people commit. Nevertheless, He has the ability to bring good out of it, as the Scriptures clearly teach through this story. He uses the events in your life, even the painful and difficult events, to help you grow and bring you to where you need to be. Maybe, in the light of the bigger picture, we can forgive the people in our lives that might have hurt us, just like Joseph was able to forgive his brothers. Just something to think about. Thank you for joining us for another Parashah Point. We pray that you've been blessed by this teaching, and remember, continue to test everything. Shalom.
It is because of you, our generous supporters, who make it possible to offer these high-quality teachings completely free of charge. If you feel led to support 119 Ministries so that we can continue this effort, please visit testeverything.net and click on the Support 119 tab. Learn how you can partner with us to take the whole Word of God to the nations.